Imagine walking into a place where literally every single step you take could be your very last. A place so unfathomably dense that sunlight barely even scrapes the ground. We're talking about a world where silent predators are always watching from the shadows, and absolutely every living creature is locked in this daily, high-stakes battle just to stay alive. Welcome to our explainer on the Amazon rainforest, which is widely regarded as the single most dangerous jungle on Earth. Today, we're diving deep to unpack exactly how jungle predators have evolved to ensure they survive 100% of the time in such an unbelievably hostile environment. So let's step straight into the green hell. To really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of what we're looking at, let's start with this massive number right here, 5,500,000. That is the size of the Amazon in square kilometers, just sprawling across South America. To put that into perspective, within this gigantic expanse lives roughly 10% of all known species on our entire planet. But you know, beneath its breathtaking beauty lies a totally relentless world. Throughout this explainer, we're going to dig into the data and the facts behind the animals, the unseen dangers, and the hidden secrets that make this one of the most extreme, dialed-up ecosystems on Earth. So here is our roadmap for today's expedition. Number 1, welcome to Green Hell. 2, jungle floor. 3, beneath the surface. 4, death from above. 5, invisible enemies. And finally, number 6, fragile balance. Let's kick things off with section 1, welcome to Green Hell. Because before we can even introduce you to the predators, we really have to understand the oppressive physical conditions that force every creature here to become an absolute master of survival. The very second you enter the Amazon, the jungle literally closes in around you. The term Green Hell isn't just a dramatic nickname. It's defined by some brutally intense environmental factors. We're talking about towering trees over 60 meters tall that form this massive canopy, blocking almost all the sunlight and creating a super dim, shadowy world down below. The air itself is incredibly heavy. Temperatures are regularly climbing above 30 degrees Celsius, and the humidity, it often exceeds a suffocating 90%. It's like living in a giant, dark sauna. Navigating through all those thick vines and swamps is incredibly difficult. Just existing here is a massive, massive challenge. Every single inch of this jungle is occupied by something trying to survive. And in an environment this extreme, guaranteeing your survival usually means becoming a highly adapted, incredibly lethal hunter. Moving on to section 2, jungle floor. We're heading down to the tangled roots and dense vegetation to meet the ultimate shadow king. The undisputed king of the Amazon is, without a doubt, the jaguar. Now, unlike lions that rule those wide-open plains, jaguars dominate through absolute, terrifying silence. Their domain spans the entire jungle floor and even the rivers. They are hunting capybaras, deer, monkeys, caimans, and get this, even giant anacondas. But their ultimate weapon, the thing that guarantees a near 100% survival rate on a hunt, is their insane bite force. Instead of suffocating their prey like a lot of other big cats, a jaguar will often bite directly through the skull for an instant kill. And amazingly, they are fantastic swimmers. They will literally cross flooded forests just to hunt right in the water. So yeah, in the Amazon, nowhere is truly safe. But hey, not every danger on the jungle floor is some massive cat. Some are small enough to literally sit on your fingertip. Take the incredibly vibrant poison dart frog. It looks almost cute and completely harmless, right? Well, those bright colors are absolutely not for camouflage. They are a loud visual alarm system screaming, "Stay away." Some of these little guys carry toxins powerful enough to completely deter any predator with just the tiniest amount of poison on their skin. It's a brilliant, highly evolved survival tactic. And living right nearby is another tiny terror, the bullet ant. If you want proof that size means very little in the Amazon, this is it. The bullet ant packs one of the most painful insect stings ever recorded in human history. Victims have described the pain as this intense, burning, and incredibly long-lasting agony. If an animal is wandering the jungle floor and takes just one careless step, the consequences are immediate and excruciating. It's a perfect defensive adaptation that ensures the survival of even the smallest creatures in the green hell. So, the land is obviously heavily guarded by these powerful cats and totally toxic insects. But that brings us to a really important question. What waits beneath the muddy waters? Let's leave the humid land behind for a second and dive into the dark, mysterious rivers. Welcome to Section 3, Beneath the Surface. The aquatic layer of the Amazon is an entirely different world entirely, hiding massive reptiles and some truly shocking hunters. Okay, let's bust some myths here, because we've all seen the movies, right? Hollywood fiction loves to portray creatures like piranhas and anacondas as these mindless, ravenous, man-eating monsters. But the actual jungle reality is so much more fascinating. Most piranhas actually feed on fish, fruits, insects, and carrion. They're scavengers. They really only become dangerous when food is incredibly scarce or if they feel cornered and threatened. And those giant snake attacks on humans you see in films? Extremely rare. In reality, these predators rely on extreme patience and calculated precision to guarantee their 100% survival rate. They aren't mindless, they are tactical. Just think about the sheer stats of these river predators for a second. First step, the green anaconda. Growing over 7 meters long and weighing more than 200 kilograms, this silent giant doesn't even bother chasing its prey. It waits perfectly still with literally only its eyes and nostrils above the water. When it finally strikes, it wraps its massive, muscular body around its target, tightening its grip with every single breath until escape is physically impossible. Next, we have the black caiman, which can grow over 5 meters long. This is the ultimate apex ambush predator, silently patrolling the water for fish, birds, or monkeys. And finally, the electric eel, which, fun fact, isn't actually a true eel. It uses highly specialized organs to generate powerful electrical discharges to completely stun its prey and defend itself. These are highly evolved tactics that ensure a near 100% success rate the moment they strike. This brings us to Section 4, Death from Above. Because as we are about to see, absolutely no elevation in this jungle is safe. Consider this absolutely wild comparison. High above the forest canopy soars the harpy eagle, which is one of the world's most powerful birds of prey. Notice how a harpy eagle's talons are practically the exact same size as grizzly bear claws. Just let that sink in. We are talking about literal grizzly claws with wings. This magnificent predator uses these enormous, brute force talons and insanely sharp eyesight to detect the tiniest of movement from vast distances. With one silent, lightning-fast dive, it can snatch monkeys and sloths directly out of the treetops. The hunt is over in a matter of seconds. The canopy isn't a safe haven. It's just another battlefield. Dropping all the way back down, we arrive at Section 5, Invisible Enemies. Because sometimes the absolute best survival strategy is remaining completely unseen until it is entirely too late. Ironically enough, the greatest dangers in the Amazon aren't always its largest animals. There are massive threats that you might not even notice until they strike. Mosquitoes that can spread incredibly serious diseases, and microscopic parasites just waiting in the rivers and the soil. Then you have venomous snakes like the bushmaster and the fer-de-lance. They blend so perfectly into the dead leaves on the forest floor that they're basically invisible, and they strike with blinding speed when threatened. Even the flora gets involved. Certain plants will aggressively defend themselves with nasty toxic chemicals or razor-sharp thorns. Every single one of these adaptations has been fine-tuned over millions of years so that only the strongest and smartest manage to survive. Now, with all these terrifying predators, venomous insects, and totally invisible threats, it would be super easy to just write off the Amazon as a giant house of horrors. But that brings us to an absolutely vital question. Why does this terrifying green hell actually keep the rest of the Earth alive? Which leads us straight into our final section, Section 6, Fragile Balance. We're going to see how all these deadly, competing layers actually form a vital, deeply delicate machine. The absolute most crucial takeaway here is that the Amazon is way more than just a dangerous jungle. It's one of Earth's greatest and most important natural wonders. Millions of species literally depend on each other to survive. At the very top, apex predators like our jaguars and harpy eagles are essential because they control the prey populations, which keeps the tree-dwelling animals perfectly in check. Moving down the ladder, insects, yes, even the incredibly painful ones, are desperately needed to constantly recycle nutrients back into the soil. And the plants? They are producing massive amounts of oxygen and storing enormous quantities of carbon, which directly helps regulate our entire planet's climate. Every single predator's ruthless drive to survive 100% of the time is exactly what keeps this massive ecosystem perfectly balanced. However, as intense and frightening as this ecosystem can seem, it is also incredibly fragile. Right now, major human-caused threats are putting this entire intricate web at extreme risk. We're talking about rampant deforestation, illegal mining operations, the broader impacts of climate change, and widespread habitat destruction. These factors threaten countless species that call the Amazon their home. The data clearly shows that protecting this rainforest isn't just some abstract idea about saving trees. It literally means protecting one of the richest, most complexly balanced life support systems on Earth. Which leaves us with this final, deeply powerful thought. Because once a species disappears, it may be gone forever. If this dangerous, beautiful, and intricately balanced machine is lost, the consequences will ripple across the entire globe. So ask yourself, what would our world actually look like without the green hell? Thank you so much for exploring the amazing data and hidden details of the Amazon with us today on this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and until next time, stay curious.